Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and you will not believe it. It is an absolute shocking revelation. There's a problem in Hearthstone, and that problem, yeah, Priest is playable, and we're gonna, no, it's not. That's a me problem. You wanna play Priest, go for it. But no, this image over here, this zero, this just symbolizes to me the absolute absurdity of the current Hearthstone game of so many cards either costing zero or just cheating out 1 billion mana. And I just feel like, to me, it's a problem because it just makes turns too swiggy, decks too insane, and since every deck's doing it, the meta's kind of balanced, but it's just, for me at least, not the most fun thing in the world. So we're gonna dive into that, take a look exactly what I mean. And if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, if you want to hit that sub button down below, give the video a like, it helps us out a lot as we're on the road to 86,000 subscribers. So I tweeted this out yesterday, the cause of so many problems in Hearthstone. We've got, you know, the zero, a lot of replies and angerness, and is that a word? I don't know. And if you look at the meta, it's kind of startling. We've done a lot of this meta diving, you know, we do it every week or so. But if you look at these decks, the amount of mana cheated by these is pretty ridiculous. So we're gonna go through all the different cards in the game right now that either can go to zero or just cheat a ton of stuff. It's pretty ridiculous, and I just thought it would be a fun little thing to go. But I will say the biggest, to me, problem of all this, I also tweeted out yesterday. This is what I do in my spare time, is tweet about Hearthstone and man, and I'm also building Legos. Look at this Titanic over here. It's a very large set, and it didn't even come with an iceberg, but it's really fun to build. But yes, I tweeted out, if you're sick of facing Marin, it's probably because it's almost 50% of decks. You look at these stats, yeah, Marin, 44% of decks at Legend, Ziliax 64.9. Although I like, we have Ibic here saying Ziliax after 50 nerfs still at 65% of decks, and always get the reply, which is fair to an extent. You can't treat Ziliax as one card. It's more like 36, but how many different versions are you seeing? You're seeing Ticking, and then you're seeing Virus, or the, you know, the Perfect module. There's like 3 basic versions you see for the most part. Sometimes you see the copy one in hand buff, but yeah, other than that, not so much. So I thought I would just, yeah, dive into like the meta decks out there. And I don't think Double Blood is the most insane meta deck out there, but of course, like most decks, you have Marin. But I want to point out the Razzle Dazzler. The fact that this is like a fair card or just a good card in today's game is absolutely nutty to me. That at bare minimum, you get an extra 5-drop, which is pretty good. Remember Jandis Barov? That got nerfed from 5 mana. You got 2 5-drops at random. Basically got to pick one that like took damage and would die. That got nerfed to 6. We have Razzle Dazzle. We have Huddle Up at 7. We have Scourge at 9. The amount of stats this thing can generate effectively to me is like this giant mana cheat bomb, but doesn't really qualify the same way. Deathlight actually doesn't cheat too much mana, of course, unless you're looking at its best card by quite a bit in Reska, the pit boss, or the one with text that you can read it. Control 1 less. It's like a 0 mana Sylvanas with Rush, right? Really powerful. Another card that kind of achieves that goal. Another large example is Pain Warlock, which has seen both of their 0 mana cards, actually all 3 of them, Ziliax, Imprisoned Horror, and Molten Giant, which are the cards that just win the game on the spot, right? If they get out really early, most decks can't react to that. They all go to 0, and yeah, they've all been nerfed and are still good because they can go to 0, right? Yeah, kind of a common theme. Do I need to speak much more other than Skyla in Big Spell Mage making, you know, your card 0? Or how about just getting 1 million coins? And those are 0. They cheat more mana. Surflipod losing stat. Like, what was that nerf? So unimpactful. But yeah, Surflipod, you know, getting to that point where you're cheating out 10 mana, or I guess for 5 you cheat out 5, but then you play Under the Sea, you cheat out a 10 drop. There's just so much mana cheat with that. You have a moderate mana cheat like Seashell, 3D Partner, and it's like every major deck, it feels like, is built around this in mind. Druid's been relying on this for I don't know, since Showdown, with Fi, with Nest Matron, both effectively 0 most of the time. Eonar as a Titan, pretty much a 0 mana card. You know, it's pretty much used for refresh all the time. And you just can go through example after example after example. We could just go like rapid fire with like basically con man, cheating a billion mana. You play for 4, you get a 10 mana spell. You have Sonya, which has been off and on. Basically every time she's good, she gets nerfed because she has effectively infinite mana cheat. Shadow Step of, as I've always complained about, negative mana, it's 0. Take mana away from Battlecry minion. That's gotten probably more cards nerfed than any other card in existence. Dorian's another one of those where it's just like basically snowballing mana cheat with all the 1 mana minions. At least they're not 0, but still absolutely nuts. Chemical Spill cheating out those, you know, big Zilliaxes. You got the Lanessas cheating out the glow sticks and using more coins. It's like every major deck in the game just feels that way right now. And it's just represented here, other than like some very aggressive decks. If you take a look at what the big strength is for almost every single one of these decks, with the odd exception, it's either about 0 mana cards or cheating a ton of mana through some combination. And to me, it just makes games feel like the decisions don't matter that much. I struggled today on my stream playing ladder, getting to legend, where my wins and my losses, it felt more like it just came down to who got their scam first, who got their big mana cheat. Did I get my Razzle Dazzler out before they did their broken Cliff Dive or whatever it is? And that's another card I didn't even mention, Cliff Dive, another card that cheats a billion mana. That it just feels like when every deck, every card is able to do these things, you never want to play late game. Almost every late game card in the game right now, you don't want to play unless it's cheated out or can be cheated out for like 0, right? So many of these cards not impactful right now, to the point where I brought this up in a prior video. It still blows my mind that a card like Sargeras that could destroy the board, summon infinite imps with taunt, give you 6/6s, it's 6/12 itself, can do all these incredible things. The only time it saw play was when you could really cheat it out, right? With Symphony of Sins, they nerfed it for that reason, because you could cheat this out. And I know Hearthstone's a game that's built around crazy, you know, things, and mana cheat's a part of the game. It should be. I'm not even advocating for everything should be like not less than 1. I think that should be for specific examples, like a Sorcerer's Apprentice, maybe one day a Radiant Elemental. But I feel like right now, every deck is just built around that. And a big part of that to me, is Marin the Manager. I really do think that this card, in particular, the Wand, either the Wand gets changed, but that affects the older cards. Like, to me, Marin should have a condition. Either you control a location, then you get to discover that treasure, otherwise get it at random. Because again, Togwoggle, which costs 1 less, which was a class card, only gave you 1 treasure, but you could just choose it, right? This, you just can play it in any deck. I just feel like it should either be random or conditioned. Again, I like the you control location thing because, well, the expansion, Perils of Paradise, all about locations, kind of makes sense, right? But at the end of the day, when a card like this is in almost half of the decks, that means half your games are likely going to see a Wondrous Wand come down, spam 0 mana cards, probably scam you out of the game, and also just give like a ridiculous possible alternative win condition, because why not? I feel like this card would still be played if it just gave 1, nothing else, right? Like, that's how insane it is. Arguably, it could be just better because then you're not drawing these other things. Other than Crown, usually you don't like hitting stuff with that, so whole other debate for another day. But I do feel like in the current Hearthstone game, there is just way too many ways to cheat mana where it just makes every game, at least to me, just feel like it doesn't matter what I do. It's just about finding my scam, trying to do it, and if I didn't do it, I lose. If I did it, I win. And either way, back and forth, there's not a lot of it, right? It just, to me, it's not a ton of fun. It's not engaging. There's not a lot of agency, like they used to like to use that word, and my decisions just feel like they're at an all-time low in Hearthstone. And I'm playing an all-time low of Hearthstone right now, and a big part of it is just, yeah, mass scams, mass mana cheat, to me, is not a ton of fun. But let me know in the comments down below. Am I totally off base with this? How do you feel about the current meta, the current mana cheat situation? Should there be a rule that says not less than 1 on everything? I think that would be really boring and bad. But I do think, yeah, certain times it absolutely should apply. But I asked you, you tell me. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. And hopefully your cards you see will cost mana, my friends. That was terrible. Just stay salty, my friends.